Alright guys, we're going to start on number 3 for the Drake cement plant. Just to give you an overall view of what's going on here, this is basically what I am trying to accomplish. It won't be as detailed as this because, like I say, there's not really any good pictures of me to see everything that's in this complex. Anyhow, just to show you here, we'll move it around a bit. Here's one of the buildings here. The trackage for the trains will be back here. And this is a storage building. And then here's a conveyor that comes up to this set of stuff. And then on this side here is where the kiln is going to be. And then we have all of this to build. Now I'll show you the next picture, which is what we're going to concentrate today on, is the mixer loading platform. Let me get that picture up here, and there's a picture of that. We're going to try and emulate this structure right here, and it seems that it's going to evolve from the size of the tanks. So if you stay tuned, I'll show you what I prepare to do for this here build. And it is I-beam, so I will be doing this at I-beam structure. What's also good about this picture is I get to see more of the stuff that's in the first structure. Like for instance, I could see the top over here, and it's just got a square box. Looks like it might be some kind of a heater or some kind of a cooler because it's got vents right there, but there's just a bunch of pipes that come down here, so that's one good thing. Then on this side here, I could see the back side of the first structure that I built. It looks like it's got it's part of this complex that I'm building right now. So it's got silos inside of here, so I think I will omit the silos I said I was going to put near the first video or the second video that I did. Anyhow, I'll show you how I'm going to accomplish this right here, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, so now we're going to start this project. I'm trying to figure out now how wide I want it to be. I want two mixers to be side by side but not on top of each other. So this looks like what I'm going to be doing here. Looks about good to me. What I'm using for the tanks is this PVC pipe that I've been using so far. They are 18 feet tall and 10 feet in diameter. Now, in order for me to hold on a second. There we go. In order for me to do this part right here, I know it's probably hard for you guys to see because of the lighting in here, but anyhow, this is like a funnel down here. Well, I don't know how to make a funnel and make it work, so what I'm going to do is a four-sided delivery system, and I'll show you how we do that in the next clip. So stand by and we'll be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at here now is what I'm going to call the funnel. I'm going to have to make two of these, but what you see in front of you are the parts to do one of them. Very easy operation. I just took a piece of my for sale sign that I've been using throughout this whole build. I cut the first one out, and then I just flipped it over and cut the second one out, and then so on and so on and so on. But you need to remember that once you do that, every time you do that, each one of these gets bigger. So you're going to have to do some trimming afterwards. Or you could take the time and measure each one out. Now these are the triangles that are cut out. And as you can see, they're going to have an opening at the bottom, and there'll be a pipe that comes out here that goes down to just above where the cement mixers will be. I added some support in here so I can glue the rest of them together. And this support here was just a piece of, I cut off a strip of scrap plastic rather than go out and buy some. Anyhow, I'll go ahead and put these guys together, or at least one of them, and then we'll move over to the next project of this build. Will be the superstructure that all of this stuff is going to go into. So stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, here's one of the completed funnels, as I'm calling them. I'm not going to do the other one right now. I'm going to let this one dry up. It's still a bit wet, that's why I'm holding it with a tweezer. But anyhow, as you can see, it does represent a funnel, and it'll go at the bottom of the of the silos that are in there. Anyhow, we're going to shift right now. We're going to shift to the superstructure that I'm going to be building for this guy. So stay tuned. Let me get it all set up, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm going to keep on showing you these screenshots here to show you what I'm up to and how I get to what I want to do. So now that I've got the tanks and the funnels pretty much under control, my next move is to do the entire structure. Excuse me. So let me get you down to the work area, and I will show you what I have so far. And we'll move down nice and slow, and there we go. Now you got to imagine you're looking at this the same way you're looking at it in the picture. I'll be using this 286 H-beam, 277 I-beam, and 276 I-beam. I know that mine looks a little bit overkill, but these are the materials that I had on hand, and so that's what I'm going to do. So anyhow, at the top here, you'll see the silo or the tank, whatever you want to call it. Then my funnel. Now my funnel will get glued to the bottom of the floor that this will sit on, and this will be directly over it, so it'll look like one continuous piece that goes through. Then from here on down, there'll be pipes that will feed the cement mixer. Oops. And like I said, this is just mocked up right now. I always do mock-ups and test fits before I put anything together. Anyhow, so the cement mixers will come in from this direction, get their load, and pull out in that direction. Anyhow, let's see how much trouble I can get into putting this puppy together, and I'll bring you back when I have the first side done. Got to build two of these, one for this side, one for the other side. Of course, you guys know that. Anyhow. Stay tuned, and we'll be back very shortly. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is the first, well actually it's the second one that the structure that I built, and I know you guys are going to say that looks way oversized, and to be honest with you, it is. The reason for that is because I'm using materials that I have in the house without spending any money. So now the next part of this build is going to be adding my cross members to connect this one with the other one. One thing you need to make sure of, you know the carpenter's rule of measure twice and cut once. Well, that applies to plastic also. As you notice, I have these marked at how long I want them to be to get my overall size. Each one of these has to be exact, otherwise you're going to wind up with one that's a little askew one way or the other. The top section here I'm not going to do till I get most of this frame done and get it self-standing, and then I have to work this out. So with that being said, this is a piece of I-beam, and you can see right there how much space there is to actually glue it. I don't like that because to me it seems like it's a little bit too little. So what I did was, this is one of the cross beams. I took a piece of angle iron and I put it on the bottom, as you can see right there. And so now that gives me, besides this gluing surface, it gives me that gluing surface also. As you can see, let me get this over here. Let me slide this over a bit. As you can see, I started putting them on here already. I'm going to do the two outer ones first, and then I'll do the two inner ones. So stay tuned, and I'll go ahead and put this together, and we'll see how it looks when I get done with it. Be back in a couple of minutes. Bye. Alright guys, when I started this project I told you it was going to be the cement mixer loading plant, and this is it right here. Unfortunately, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, it looked kind of oversized, and I was disappointed when I finished it because it was way oversized. But I am going to repurpose the structure that I built rather than destroy it or throw it away, and what we're going to do is we're going to do this guy back here. Let me get another picture up here and show you what we're going to do. It's going to be, let's see if I can this structure right here. So let me show you what I did so far, and we'll continue from there. So stand by and we'll be right back. Alright guys, as you can see, this is what I have made up so far, and it was supposed to be looking something like this. But like I said, it looked way over scale, so I decided to give this a different purpose and do the building or the structure that is right here. As you can see in this structure, if you count the ground floor, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 floors in here. And on mine, I've only got 1, 2, 3. And this was a half a floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the front out here and give this a whole new floor up here so I can get all the little details that are in here. And then also, from this, whatever this is right here, there's a pipe that comes down and goes to this building that I have already kind of mocked up. Anyhow, let me continue on this guy, and I'll show you what else I'll be doing. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, one of the deals that goes in this section right here is about 8 tanks. So I went out to my garage and looked around, and I found about a 10-foot piece of 1-inch outer diameter PVC pipe. Sorry, I get those confused all the time. I guess being a mechanic for all those years, it gets to stick in your head. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and cut these up to the size that I need, and I'm going to put them together, and then I am going to paint them up, and I'll show you what those look like. So stay tuned and I'll be back shortly. Alright guys, this is what I came up with the PVC pipe. There's 6 of them in there, and they will fit inside of here when I'm done with it. Anyhow, I'm going to continue on this, putting the other floor on here, and we'll see how it looks when that's kind of together. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, what you're looking at again is the cement plant that I am trying to represent on my layout. What started out to be this guy wound up to be this guy. I can see some of the details on here, and I tried to copy them as best I could, and I swear that right down here is an overhead crane. I'm not going to reproduce that crane because first of all it's going to be way too small, and there's nobody that makes that kit. Anyhow, let's get back down to the project, and I'll show you how far I've gotten so far. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is the structure that I built, my second superstructure for this cement plant that I'm doing. As you can see, all the floors are in there. I've got holes drilled out for piping that needs to go in there, and everything is nice, secured and painted. I'm pretty sure that this spot down here looks like an overhead crane to me. I'm not going to do that. It's just going to be too much work and stuff that you're really not going to be able to see. So I added this platform here, and I'll just fill it up with some tanks or something. Anyhow, this stuff right here is everything that's going to go inside this structure. This guy right here is going to get one of these here funnels that I'm calling them, but it'll be the entire length of the building, and it goes down and through the floor and blah blah blah. I'm not exactly sure because, like I've been mentioning throughout this whole build, that I can't see everything that's in there. But I want to thank a bunch of you guys for helping me out on giving me some input and information and pictures and all that kind of stuff. Really appreciate that. That's helping me out a lot. Even if I take one section from one thing and one section from another and put it all together, it will represent what I want to represent. Anyhow, stay tuned, and I'll put all this stuff inside the structure and I'll show you what it looks like. So stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, now that you've seen the empty structure, this is what it's going to look like with some of the substructures that I added. Got one here with a couple of pipes that go down to the next deck down, but it also gets one of those funnels that I showed you earlier in one of my previous videos. Then there's a little shack down here. I don't know exactly what it does, but I know that there's a pipe that comes out from here and goes up. I don't know where it goes to. Also, in the part that I said looked like an overhead crane, what I'm going to do is just add a few little tanks here just to fill in some of the empty spots. Here's the tanks that I showed you guys earlier, and then again another structure up on top here. Now, what I'm going to do is I will prop up the building that goes next to this, and then the silo that goes next to that, and it will look hopefully something like that. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so this is how the scene is going to look on my layout. As you can see, I have added the building here, which this pipe goes into, and then the silo, and as you've seen in the picture, that is a pretty huge silo. And then finally on this side here is where my truck loading facility is going to be. Also, on the back side of this guy, turn this around, right here is going to be another structure similar to this, except it's only going to be one deal wide. And the reason for that is because it will get one conveyor from this side, and it also get a conveyor from this side back here. Oops. And then the structure will also have an out, which will go to the first structure that I built. Hope that all makes sense. Anyhow, still lots more work to be doing on this guy. I'm going to try and do as much detail as I can. My intention is to build all the main structures and put them on the layout and make sure that they all fit. If I was to do this to actually scale and do everything actual size, this would take up probably the 45 inches in length that I have, and probably take up way more than the 14 inches that I have in width. Anyhow, like I said at the very beginning of this is going to be a scratch build that's going to be very compressed, to say it the easiest way. I just wanted to represent what it looks like, and as long as I can get that, I'll be happy. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this part 3 of my Drake cement plant series. We'll continue on with this. I think the next part I'm going to do, and try and get it right this time, is to do the truck loading facility. Anyhow, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, your questions, comments, input, and subs are always welcome. For now, that's all folks. BNSF 6951 out.